No means no. My background is in psychology, and my college degrees would lead me to believe that I was going to be a mental health counselor when I grew up, and someday I might actually work in my field of study. But for now, God has me doing work that I love of a different sort. The reason I bring up my training is because difficult relationships are one of the key reasons why people seek out counseling. And our nation seems to be stuck in one contrary conversation after another and appears to be in need of some family therapy. You have only to flip on any news source and you will see a soap opera of Jerry Springer-like hysterics playing out every single day. One of the things counselors teach people who have become embroiled in a difficult relationship is to take note of how people react to your no. Can you disagree without the relationship falling into drama and chaos? Do you have the freedom to be a separate being with opposing ideas and views, or does the other person require that you agree lockstep with their way of seeing the world? On the national stage, we are currently witnessing huge numbers of people who are of the ilk that they believe that their way is the one and only correct way. These people cannot tolerate the word no and are not mature enough to embrace the notion that anyone, anywhere, could possibly disagree with their immaculate wisdom. And they have and they will use force to crush anyone who opposes them. Debate, even spirited debate, is beneficial to the mind and body, and it is to be encouraged between people who are mature enough to enjoy verbally sparring over differing viewpoints. It is only problematic if one person cannot hear the other's counterposition without feeling threatened and then acting out against the person who had the audacity to say no or I disagree. Two of my friends and mentors, Doctors John Townsend and Henry Cloud, wrote a book about this very thing. It's called Boundaries: When to Say Yes, How to Say No, and Take Control of Your Life. You see, a healthy relationship, whether personal, professional, or political, is rooted in common interests and values, but still allows for dissenting opinions. People who have healthy boundaries are comfortable in their own skin, have good coping skills, and take responsibility for their own choices and decisions in life. Those who do not have healthy boundaries and this level of maturity are easily recognized by their need to focus on what everyone else is doing wrong, playing the victim in every scenario, and occasionally gathering all of their like-minded followers together to chant mindlessly in unison and march, and oh look, there's another march, to march for marching at the next march. They scream, they yell, they shout down any opposing viewpoint, and they will not rest until everyone has joined in their Stepford-like, head-bobbing sameness. Our founding fathers broke out of that mold. They wrote down their boundaries and their intention to be different from those who would seek to control their lives in a series of documents called the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights. Their relationship with the English tyrants had become so toxic and overbearing that they had to finally say no, because they were free men who valued liberty and would not be held in the chains of conformity and control. When the Founding Fathers wrote their no, they included 4 words to serve as a coverall for any foreseeable circumstance: shall not be infringed. 4 simple words which are spelled out in the Second Amendment of our Bill of Rights. It says quite simply, no. No, you will not take our firearms because you want to. No, you will not make it more difficult for us to keep and bear arms because someone somewhere did something horrible and misused their rights. No, your fear of my firearm does not require me to disarm in order that you will feel more comfortable. Shall not be infringed means no. In keeping with the principles of boundaries, this means that people who don't want to own firearms are free to own no firearms. And those who do want to own firearms are free to be responsibly armed citizens. Both sides value our liberty in individual ways without imposing our wants and whims on the other. That is a healthy relationship. I'll close by saying that we have among us those who feel that we have too many freedoms, but of course just the ones they don't care about, and they want the government to take those freedoms away by any means necessary. But we, patriots, freedom lovers, we will hold the line on that boundary. We will not be cowed or intimidated or shouted into submission or silence, and we will see those who demand our submissiveness for exactly what they are: tyrants, immature, ill-mannered, overbearing tyrants. And we will keep our rights that shall not be any further infringed, and we will use those rights to continue to protect even the rights of those who would take ours. And in this endeavor, for as long as it takes, we will continue in these freedom-based and boundary-holding contrary conversations to remind the rights restrictors that no means no. Dan?